Thank you, Presiding Officer. And can I remind members of my register of interests to ask the Scottish Government what steps it is taking to encourage a modal shift to increase train passenger numbers and journeys?
Minister Graham Day.
Presiding Officer, our National Transport Strategy is clear about the investment priority we attach to public transport and modal shift, and the substantial financial support we've provided throughout the pandemic has ensured the availability of rail as a mode of choice, along with bus. We remain committed to growing the rail market and accordingly have charged ScotRail Trains Limited with producing a market growth strategy from April 2022 that develops and implements appropriate products and services to address post-COVID markets in order to try and deliver increased revenue and passenger growth against a backdrop of net zero carbon and modal shift.
Richard Leonard.
Could I thank the Minister for that response? As a low-carbon transport link between Scotland's two largest cities and London, the Caledonian Sleeper route has a central role to play in getting people onto public transport, and yet Serco, responsible for running the franchise, has managed to cause not one but two disputes with its workers and their union, the RMT, over both pay and now another over clear evidence of bullying and harassment. This is a shocking way to treat key workers. So as the Scottish Government is fully funding the franchise, I'm saying today, bring it back. Bring it back into public ownership. Will the Minister now commit to doing this when the Emergency Measures Agreement expires in March 2022?
Minister.
Presiding Officer, a bit tangential from the original question, but let's deal with it. The dispute between the Caledonian Sleeper operators and the RMT is one that we have encouraged both sides to try and resolve the initial dispute. It's a matter of regret that the trade union concerned, as I understand it, approached the operators with a proposal to resolve that dispute. The operators went back matching that proposal. They did not recommend it to their members and it was rejected. And I think that is a matter of deep regret. In terms of the dispute about bullying and harassment, alleged or otherwise, is a serious matter, and I would encourage Serco to look into that in great detail.
Graham Simpson.
Thank you. You don't get people back onto trains by cutting services. The consultation on the controversial proposed new timetable closed on October the 2nd. When are we going to be told the results?
Minister.
Presiding Officer, that is currently going through a process of review and will be conveyed to the public in due course.
Thank you. Question number 4, Finlay Carson.
Government, when it last met the UK Government to discuss infrastructure projects of importance to Scotland.
Minister Graham Day.
Ministers meet with UK Government counterparts to discuss matters of importance to Scotland, including key infrastructure projects as required. We have stressed through engagement with the UK Government the importance of Scotland's capital budget being sufficient to deliver our infrastructure investment plan, and that any UK Government spending in Scotland supports its delivery. It was therefore disappointing that the UK Government's October spending review did not provide significant scope for an infrastructure stimulus, and that the Levelling Up Fund was disbursed directly across the UK, despite previous commitments otherwise, which in turn reduced capital funding for Scotland.
Finlay Carson.
This Government has repeatedly promised upgrades to the A75 and A77, even before the ferries moved to Cairnryan. The UK Government has committed £40 million towards preparatory work between our two governments. Why is the Scottish Government refusing to get involved with the Union Connectivity Review is baffling to my constituents, particularly when 12 Scottish local authorities, the Welsh and the Northern Ireland governments, and for that matter the Republic of Ireland Transport Minister, contributed to the view. The Scottish Government claims the A75 will feature in its strategic policy review, but the people of the south of Scotland are growing tired of waiting and this Government failing to deliver. Will the Minister today commit to working with the UK Government to bring much-needed upgrades for the benefit of the people of Scotland and for every nation across the UK?
Minister.
Presiding Officer, we are always willing to work with the UK Government in a way that respects the devolved settlement, which was not the case in this instance and in many other instances. The Unique Connectivity Review talks of offering funding to support the upgrade of the A75. We are quite prepared to discuss this with the UK Government, with two specific lines to be explored. Firstly, would this be additional funding and not some top-slicing and repackaging of existing monies? And secondly, how would upgrading fit with the proposals for this route, which are being considered as part of the STPR process?
Emma Harper.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Specifically related to that issue that has just been raised, the Union Connectivity Review made a recommendation that the UK Government should make funding available for A75 upgrades, and the Minister is aware that I have lobbied for this as well since my election in May 2016. Can the Minister outline specifically what the UK Government have promised regarding how much money they propose to give and the timescales for any of this money to be delivered?
Minister.
There has been no dialogue taking place on this to date. However, there is now an offer of a meeting, hopefully in the not too distant future, and as I said, we will engage in that meeting on the basis I outlined earlier.